So I think it's important that I speak about this. I really need to be covering things before the fire, but I think that this is very important. So I had an old client and friend. I thought they were a friend. And I need to make it very clear that the people I'm speaking about right now are people that are still friends, my friends, and I care about them just as much as I did before. All of this broke down. And when I say that, I mean it sincerely, completely. Sincerely. Victor was a client of mine from Salinas. He came out and he picked up a quarter pound or a half pound or something of Girl Scout cookies. And he was super stoked and wanted to come out and keep doing business with me, which was good. But I made it clear to him that what we're doing is he had his card, everything was legitimate, so everything was medical side. And I just told him, and I hope I never hurt his feelings with that, I just said, hey, out of all respect, I don't do any gangster stuff. I don't play along with gangsters or whatever, but if you're coming out here and getting what you need, and, that's okay. But I don't ever want any kind of gangster affiliations or any of that crap. Because I wasn't raised in Salinas, but I have spent a lot of time there, and I just don't want any part of that. And whatever he was doing in his own life is fine, but when it came to our business, it was always had to remain gang-free. And I have to make it very clear here that although he was my client to begin with, that relationship changed after I had, I don't want to call it a medically induced, I don't know if there's anything called a medically induced relapse. But what had happened is I had been clean for about 8 years, and I had taken Paxil for a fair bit of time. I think it was just about a year or over a year. And when I got off of the Paxil, went off too soon, and for whatever reason it was, somehow or another, the meth re-entered my life. When I say that, obviously I'm the one who consumed it, but I have to, it's just honest. I mean, it was, whatever it was that Paxil did to my brain, it left my brain in a manner that was like needing input from elsewhere. And maybe because I have a long past history of using that was a comfort zone of some sort. But anyway, I just wanted to put all that out front, right, and clear. So as far as I was concerned, Victor was a client and a friend. And when the house fire happened, I called him up and I told him, look, man, I need some help trying to get all this shit out of the house and moving stuff out and trying to figure out, what the heck was going to go on after that. So he's got a family and everything else, and so he had sent a person out to assist me named David. Thing is, when David came in, he told me that his name was Gook, and that I had to call him Gook. Well, I'm half Japanese. I don't even know if that would matter. I'm pretty sure that even if I was just straight American, that I would have a problem calling somebody Gook. Now, I know that that's a nickname for him or whatever sort of, how people are, they have their nicknames. But it was just not something that I can do. I could not call him Gook. It just wasn't going to happen. Although I got to admit that it was a long process to get everything out of that house. I've got disabilities, and that disability was keeping me from being able to do what I needed to do at a quick pace. And there were times when he came into the clutch, and I think out of just to make him happy, I said it a couple of times. But I need to be clear. I do not know why they wanted me to call him Gook, and I do not know why that it seems as if somehow or another that seems to be something that is plaguing me. So after David helped me get all the equipment out, I'd moved around a little bit. There were bad things happening in Santa Cruz all over the place. Not much better things happening in Salinas or whatnot, but I happened to be in the area near his house one day. And I had been near his house a bunch of times. So I decided I would just kind of stop by because I was driving past his house. So I park and I go to the bottom of the stairs of the apartment complex, and I think somebody may have been outside, and I was like, hey, can you go get Victor? My name is Jason. I just wanted to speak with Victor. And this person runs up the stairs, and Victor comes halfway down the stairs, and he's like, he yells at me, hey, do you got a gun? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean, do I have a gun? What are you talking about? And he was acting all scared. And I said, Victor, man, we already talked about this a long time ago. We've been through a bunch of things already. I don't have a gun, dude. What the fuck are you talking about, man? And so he came down and we talked a bit. He was still acting nervous. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on with him. And I do need to also air this out. When he was my client in the beginning, before I became his client. When I say this, I'm not trying to incriminate him in any way. I would deny anything. I don't want to deny it, but I'm not trying to put any responsibility on him for my own issues. But earlier in our relationship, there were many times where he was frustrating me to the 10th degree, man. And this was something that was going on very early before the fire. Before I met Victor, I was already dealing with this kind of stuff. I knew something was going on because my business was being torn apart. It's probably before the burglary of my house, but I know now, but I didn't realize then that there was a campaign being raised against me for... I still don't know what the hell it was for, but there's obviously a campaign. I mean, I'm still feeling it today. But... so maybe he thought because I was a hothead when he had frustrated me at times, but there was never, ever any kind of threats. I've never made any threats to him. I mean, let's fight kind of threats. Face to face, but never anything like I'm gonna, when I said fight, I mean, I don't want to hurt nobody permanently, but the guy was being a knucklehead at times. Apparently, it turns out maybe he was being a knucklehead even beyond that. So I don't know why it was he was trying to get me call him Gook. I don't know why he was afraid of me when I came to just check in with him after he had already helped me move and do some other things. I was just in the area. But it wasn't apparent to me then. Why would it be apparent to me then? I mean, these people are friends of mine, and they all have their own kind of personalities, and there's no reason for me to judge him on it. There's no reason for me to think anything of it. He had been helping me, if anything. But apparently, that was part of this campaign. This campaign raised against me that I still don't know much about. But I know it's serious. And I know now, I know that it seems to have spread far and wide. And I just don't know exactly when it was or where it was that Victor got involved in a manner to start attacking me, and why it was that he would send somebody over and not continue after the fire, knowing that I was in a bad situation, why it was that he was sending people over and wanting me to call them Gook. And I don't know completely how that has been used in the campaign against me, but I know that it's been used because I won't go into those details. But I just wanted to make it clear that I don't know what it was that these people were being told completely. But I do know that it was obviously very bad that Victor couldn't talk to me about whatever it was he was being told, but he could act on whatever he was being told, and seemingly was creating either, I don't want to call it evidence, but creating incidences that would make me look super terrible, especially after the fire when I'm in a point of absolute disarray, I guess is the best way to say it. I just wanted to bring this up, and I don't know how to title this yet, but it's important to bring that up along with the many stories before this, and of course the many incidents that occurred after this. And when I say stories before this, I do have a lot of documentation, but not much. And when I say incidents afterwards, it's because I have a lot of documentation for that and can cover those things. But and just to repeat, Victor and David are, regardless of many of these people that have, I guess, joined this campaign, they're still my friends. I don't have any reason for ghosting them, or at this point, I don't even have any reason to be completely mad at them, because I think my concern is exactly who it is or what it is that was influencing Victor and David to act the way that they were, and what it was that they were using those actions for. What was happening there? What were they trying to do? What were they trying to highlight by having me use the word gook? And if it turns out that what was going on there was actually part of an investigation, then let me ask once again, how does that how is it that getting me to say gook, if they are documenting this stuff themselves, what were they trying to do? What was the reasoning for that? If that had anything to do with an investigation, well, what does that have to do with the fire at the house? And I need to be very, very clear that at the time that David was helping me clear things out of the house, it was before I had my post-traumatic stress PTSD fugue had lifted, and it was before I had my recollection of what really happened with Domingo and the sabotaging of that equipment, and basically the attempt to kill Atreyu and myself. But Victor and David never had anything to do with that fire. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if Victor was actually part of something before the fire, and then also part of this situation after the fire, and if it wasn't cartel related, which, like I said, we always agreed not to have anything to do with the gangster action, then what is it exactly that was going on with Victor's friend David and them trying to get me to say gook? And why it is that when I went to go visit him, that he thought that I would have a gun. To be honest with you, even if everything was... There's just no reason to have a gun no matter what, or to pull a gun on nobody unless Victor wasn't trying to hurt me. Kill me. I guess he was trying to hurt me, but he wasn't trying to kill me or anything. I'm a bigger man than that. But I'm also a big enough man to realize that there's something very strange with this Victor situation, with this David coming over and helping me. And there was a lot of strange stuff going on before that, but I never would have expected this with Victor. But I wanted to bring it up because I think it's important that if it turns out, actually, that what was going on was that there was some sort of investigation, and how it is Victor would even be involved in that, how is it that having somebody come and try to get me to call him gook consistently all day long while he's helping me, I'm sorry, it's not funny. I'm just laughing because, I mean, why would I do that? And I know I said that I did it a couple times just to, and I did it a couple times, but it was only really serious times when David was helping me out in a very, very tough time in that whole ordeal of trying to get all of my equipment out of that house. So just to be clear, I'm not saying that these either one of them people or anything has anything to do with the fire. I'm not trying to say anything about me being Victor's client for a while. What I'm trying to say is, how is it if it turns out that this was part of some sort of investigation? What was that all about? What was going on there? And if there was an investigation, what the fuck kind of investigation? What kind is that? What technique is that? I need to know. But most importantly, I need to make it clear, not only am I half Asian, but I'm very respectful to other ethnic backgrounds and cultural backgrounds and where people come from, just as well as when they're here and doing their thing here and acclimating and assimilating to our culture and to America. Maybe when I was 12, I was dumb enough to say some shit like that, but I doubt it since I'm half Japanese. It's just not in my system. But what's interesting is how it is that somebody who's a friend of mine, we had our highs and lows, would think that I was coming to them armed or to mean harm to him. Because it's not in my blood. That's not what I do. If I've ever scared somebody enough for them to think that, well, they probably needed to be scared to think that. But I never have. Well, fuck, I haven't. I can't remember the last time I owned a gun. So, sucks talking about this shit, man. I miss these people. Actually, I miss these people, and I hope it becomes very, very clear that there are some serious missteps. And these missteps have amplified themselves in a way that has created a lot of serious issues. I'll just leave it there. Thank you for listening, and I'm definitely not racist at all.